not one to entertain the idea of DeviantArt drama. A lot of it is often very stupid shit. It's either someone not knowing the meaning of art theft, someone being an anti, or God forbid, someone watched way too much Mr. Enter and is now angry that someone liked modern SpongeBob unironically. And yes, I know I said shitting on Mr. Enter is the most unoriginal shit ever, but when you side with the fat man knowing what he did to me, no. The kitty gloves are off. Not that they were on to begin with, or even existed. But you know what else gets me to take off the non-existent kitty gloves that weren't even on in the first place because they don't exist? Calling someone a pedophile over fictional content. Especially when that someone is a 17-year-old. Where have I heard that before?
Complaining about all the Shedman stuff.
You know what Loon is? You know what Loon is?
I don't care. You can still be a pedophile at the age of 16, so I don't care.
I'm sorry, what?
You can, since you can be diagnosed with pedophilia from the age of 16.
Yeah, just insinuating that this person you traumatized is a pedophile. You're a fucking cunt. Loon isn't a nonce, nor is anyone who has been critical of you. Except maybe Studio Needing More, but he doesn't fucking count. Also, isn't it ironic that you call Loon a nonce simply because he's friends with me? A person who is critical of Turkey Tom's video on Shadman? When you're fine with Asus wanting to work for Cosmodor, a literal groomer? It's not even ironic, it's just straight up biased.
So if somebody can be diagnosed with that...
Are you trying to say that Lun is a fucking pedophile?
No, what I'm saying is...
this?
No?
Yes, you fucking were. Stop backtracking. I hate using the argument of the person I'm defending being a minor, because so many dumbasses that I've covered before have used that excuse themselves, but it just feels like he's trying to ruin his life before it even truly starts, and you'll see why as you watch. The first video we're going over is titled, Pickwood Carson Belongs in Jail. Let's get into it. Okay, I know the sound is supposed to be fire crackling, but it sounds less like fire and more like you're testing crack rocks.
But how do we know if it's good? The guy on the internet said if you break one of the little shards, it should give a really nice snap. That was bad. Try another one. Oh, it worked.
I didn't want to make this video.
Oh, there it is. The I didn't want to make this video quote. If you didn't want to make this video, then don't. You're not facing allegations or anything, so there's literally no reason to make this.
I thought I already exposed this guy's true colors over a year ago. And I thought after he deleted his channel, after being deplatformed for the things he's done, I thought I didn't need to deal with this monster ever again.
Imagine being so immature that you call a person you have drama with a monster.
But unfortunately, he's returned and has somehow regained his entire audience, even after deleting both of his channels.
Maybe because people know he isn't guilty like you think he is?
He's been breaking the law ever since he came back.
And surely this will be over real laws and not fictional content, right?
Oh! The sad thing about that, though, is that his new audience doesn't know how much of a creep he really is.
Or maybe they know the situation and decided that he's most likely innocent.
Probably because this guy managed to manipulate his entire audience into thinking the he does is okay.
Ah yes, we're allowed to talk about supposed alleged pedophilia, but we can't say the word shit uncensored. This reminds me of something Virgo once said.
To keep this as appropriate as I can make it.
You're doing a video on porn. Drop the PG facade. One thing that will always bother me is when PG YouTubers will cover pornographic subjects but dance around it in such an obnoxious, unwatchable way. Either drop the subject or drop the PG act.
Mother trucker, dude. That hurt like a butt cheek on a stick.
We're gonna be talking about the penis! We'll be talking about the vagina! Do you think that's funny, butthead? Do you find it amusing that we'll be talking about the testicles? Yes, we're also gonna be talking about venereal disease, sexual intercourse, the scrotum, the clitoris, and we will definitely be spending a lot of time talking about masturbation!
By the way, fun fact for those who don't look at the community tab. Grob actually got exposed as a groomer and privated everything.
when it really isn't. In fact, it could land someone like him in prison. And today, I'm gonna shed light on terrible things this guy has done and why he needs to be locked away in a jail cell. Today, I'm gonna be talking about Pickwick Carson, also infamously known as Harold Bluey. Before we actually begin though, I want to give some backstory with the history I have with this guy. This video isn't the first time I've talked about Carson. In fact, this is the first degenerate I've ever tried to expose on YouTube, as I made my first drama livestream exposing this guy.
For the record, this live stream isn't even up anymore. I wonder why that is.
Along with following that live stream up by celebrating his channel deletion at the time.
Oh, I love deplatforming people I don't like. 3 cheers for targeted harassment.
Hip hip! Boo! Hip hip! Boo! Hip hip! Boo! Hip hip!
Boo! You stink!
Ever since I made those live streams, Carson would make 2 more YouTube channels ever since he deleted the ones he had when I made those live streams, and has gained a combined total of over 1,000 subscribers, which is way more than what I have currently.
Well, that explains why you're making this video.
Let's just say Carson hasn't changed in the slightest.
Because we all know that having a fetish is the most illegal thing anyone's ever done. Like, I will agree that maybe a 17-year-old shouldn't be doing such things, but is this really worth calling out? Especially when the images aren't inherently pornographic?
I think we should start this video off by looking at Carson's DeviantArt page. It is disgusting.
Because he has, like, only one inflation art there. No other arts that lean into this fetish aside from that one.
A lot of the artwork he's made and posted onto DeviantArt makes me sick to my stomach, as a majority of the artwork he's posted depict many fictional cartoon characters with large drawn bellies.
Oh yes, how dare there be fetishes that I'm not into but other people are. Like, it's fine if you're not into it, but who cares if someone else who isn't you is into it? So then Tyler just elaborates on Carson's art more, and it's just the same point as before, but listing the characters he's done it to, so we're skipping ahead.
Carson has also favorited inflation artwork, not just out of cartoon characters.
Oh, how dare he have favorites of NSFW art? You see, this is why DA added the private favorites feature, because people like Tyler do this shit.
But also real people.
This Fox Rabbit character? You're trying to tell me that this is a real person? Since when has there been furries IRL? Do I even need to elaborate on why this doesn't make sense?
I've already talked about this topic back when I made my live streams, but Carson has not learned his lesson on abusing the copyright system whatsoever. His entire Pickwick Pack series is just a ripoff of the actual show, down to the name, characters, and setting.
And this is abusing the copyright system how? Abusing the copyright system means false flagging videos that are critical of you to hide from criticism. That's not what he's doing. This just sounds like another case of some boy online.
I gotta be honest, I don't even know if Carson knows what the term original ID even means. And I say that because when I made my first live stream on this guy, he got one of my mutuals' earlier channels terminated for enforcing copyrighted IPs onto his shows.
Citation needed? Like, shouldn't you show us these claims and terminations?
Since then, he has decided to even re-upload an episode of his show with the copyrighted IPs that got him terminated without any form of consent whatsoever.
From who? Fucking Disney? It's a fan work. The fact that Disney even gives a shit is honestly baffling. Though I'm not surprised that Disney is doing the Nintendo thing.
Speaking of consent... Coming to think of it, I don't think Carson also knows what the word consent means either.
Tell me you're trying to make someone look like a rapist without telling me you're trying to make someone look like a rapist.
And I say this because of this video right here. This video doesn't seem that bad at first.
Because it isn't.
But watch this clip and you'll understand why this video is messed up.
Hey Ivan, we better honk the horn.
It's a broken. The voice of the red animal behind Carson in the video is Ivan Tube's voice. Ivan did not voice any lines for Carson in this video. What Carson did here was that he took Ivan Tube's voice, inserted it through a random AI filter, and did the lines himself so he can feature Ivan in the video without any consent or permission given from Ivan.
Alright, so I'm gonna save my takes on AI for another video, as that's a can of worms that will take too long to explain right now, but does this really belong in a video where you supposedly expose illegal behavior? This just seems petty and unneeded, and that's going under the assumption that Carson did anything wrong to begin with, which he didn't.
The worst thing that this degenerate has done is openly admit without guilt that he has feelings for and is dating Suki.
Yeah, the fictional cartoon character that doesn't exist.
Suki is a fictional cartoon character from the preschool TV series Pickwick Pack.
So you acknowledge that she's fictional, yet still run with the narrative that this guy's a pedophile? You do realize this destroys your whole case, right?
Which already makes this extremely sad, knowing that Carson can't get a girlfriend in real life, so he has to resort to shipping himself with a cartoon character. Man, that is just sad.
Why should you care? Why does it matter who he is and isn't attracted to? Also, at the risk of sounding like a femcel, modern dating is fucked. Like, really, who is actually dating anymore? Not only are old dating sites shady, but the Western woman entitlement epidemic, the epidemic of OnlyFans being seen as a get-rich-quick scheme, and how overly politicized dating is, the modern dating world is fucked. When I was young, you could just go into a con, find someone you liked, hit it off as friends before taking things further. Now you have to go through hoops to even find someone you remotely like. Not to mention it's harder for teenagers since TikTok brain rot has made it so people are overly obsessed with looks maxing, subliminals, or whatever beauty trend that doesn't work is happening. And said brain rot leads to unrealistic expectations of behavior from both parties. In short, modern dating is fucked.
But that's not the worst part about this, however. Suki is a literal hedgehog.
Yeah, a furry hedgehog as an anthropomorphic. So it's not zoophilia. Not that her being feral would make it zoophilic, because it's fictional, but you still can't even use the 1-800-Dust Bunny argument of, it's literally a dog, or whatever.
There is plenty of evidence showing this degenerate behavior that I wish I could unsee because of how disgusting it truly is.
He says, showing the most tame art I've seen today.
I would also argue this is borderline pedophilia.
No, it's not. Suki isn't real.
Because while I did some digging, I found a wiki with some information relating to Pickwick Pack and its characters, including their biological birth date. The wiki confirmed that Suki's date of birth was June 8th, 2013, which means that Suki would be 10 to 11 years old. Carson is 16 to 17 years old!
Yeah, and it's a cartoon character. It's not real.
And you know what's crazier about this information?
The fact that a wiki for a Disney Junior cartoon has more info on it than the wikis for the shows I actually like.
This is not the only fictional character Carson has feelings for! After doing further investigation, me and my team have found out that he also has feelings for the fictional character Zadie, a wombat character from the PBS Kids series Work It Out Wombats. Zadie is 6 years old.
Say it with me now. The keyword is fictional.
And this 17-year-old man made a romantic AI cover song dedicated to her.
17-year-old man is an oxymoron, but okay.
If I had to pick the worst YouTuber I've covered so far, it's easily Pickwick Carson.
The fact that you pull up an IRL picture of him in this video just kind of proves you're trying to ruin his life before it even starts.
I've covered a lot of really bad people on the internet before, but there was never a YouTuber that actually made me extremely furious with what they've done.
Then clearly you haven't been on this website long enough.
TylerTV may have made me angry with what he's been saying to my mutuals, but Pickwick Carson infuriates me not because he's also done the same thing Bryce has done, like the time he tried dating Yellow Circle.
Who? Who's this person that you haven't mentioned till now? Care to provide more context?
Carson is not doing his degenerate actions for attention. He is doing it because it genuinely pleases him and makes him happy. And that just disgusts me.
Ah yes, how dare people who aren't me be happy?
For those who want to help me get him deplatformed and by any lucky chance get him arrested, I suggest blocking him and reporting his channel for child endangerment.
False reports over fictional furries from Disney Junior and PBS cartoons. That's definitely not breaking TOS. Next, we'll be taking a look at the follow-up that was made. The video is titled, An Update to the Pickwick Carson Situation. Last time I checked, there is no situation outside of what you created. Anyways, let's get into it.
Back in May, I made a video exposing a dangerous 17-year-old individual by the name of Carson Kelly, aka Pickwick Carson. I exposed him for making fetish artwork out of cartoon characters that are minors, as well as shipping himself with fictional animal cartoon characters that are also minors.
It really bothers me that you acknowledge that they're fictional, but still treat it as if it was real. Almost as if you know it's wrong and simply don't care.
Among many other disgusting things he has committed. It is now July. It has been around 2 months since I last exposed Carson for his terrible online behavior. The situation has only gotten a lot worse, and has even gotten a little more convoluted since I made my video. But despite that, there is somewhat of a happy ending to the story that I'll get to near the end of this video.
Spoilers, it isn't happy at all.
After I made my video on Carson, nothing much really happened other than that all of his videos and community posts were getting bombed with hate, as they should.
Imagine encouraging harassment right after you put a harassment disclaimer.
Carson never responded to my video.
Why should he? You blatantly falsely called him a zoophile and a pedophile. He doesn't owe you shit.
And he proceeded to continue committing most of the terrible actions I called him out for in my last video about him as well. He continued to post more fetish artwork out of fictional cartoon characters that are minors on DeviantArt, and he continued to ship himself with fictional animal cartoon characters like Zadie from Working Out Wombats and Suki from Pickwick Pack, both animal characters of which are minors aged 6 to 11 years old, while Carson is 17 to 18 years old.
How dare he ignore my petty shit slinging and instead continue with his life as if nothing happened.
So yeah, basically he's committing and at the same time.
Must I cite that one clip from the Krob video again?
Carson's not doing it for attention either. Like I said in my last video, he's doing it because it genuinely pleases him. Which honestly makes him much worse compared to other degenerates on the internet.
I don't think anyone but you was arguing that it was for attention. Even if Carson did commit pedophilia, which he didn't, then since when do people commit pedophilia for attention?
But those weren't the only terrible things he did after I made my video. You're probably wondering, how can things get worse from here? Well, you're unfortunately about to find out.
Is having an ego really that bad? Like, is it really that bad? Every YouTuber has at least some ego.
If I learned anything after I made my video on Carson, it's that Carson is a huge dumb with a giant ego. As me and my team continued our investigation on Carson after the video was released, we came across this comment under one of Carson's disgusting shipping videos. This person called out Carson and addressed that Hazel from Pickwick Pack was underage because the disgusting shipping video was all about Hazel being shipped with Carson. Carson then proceeded to reply with one of the most stupidest responses I've ever come across. He replied saying that Hazel was more like a major.
I'm gonna start using that.
That is the dumbest and most infuriating response I have ever heard.
Good. I'm glad it made you angry.
Not only does it not make sense, but it literally makes him come off as an egotistical douchebag.
How? How does saying more like a major convey ego?
And honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised if he was a douchebag on or off camera at all.
You don't know his personal life.
Carson also can't handle people hating on Pickwick Pack either, as he released this sad and depressing video trying to force his entire audience to praise Pickwick Pack like it's a gift from God.
Really? Because to me it just looks like some SpongeBob meme given the thumbnail.
Carson also admitted that the show was basically his entire life, which I find even more depressing and disgusting.
God forbid someone like a show a lot.
But you know what was the most devious thing this guy has done since I made my video? He went out of his way to publicly apologize and make fan art for Lulu Hatsume, aka Avery, a disgusting pile of that has said very nasty things about my channel Artist the Mutual Edible Shake, along with trying to get with multiple minors on top of that. She is worse than Carson in every way, shape, and form. And if she ever dares to get close to any of my mutuals ever again, then she is getting exposed next. I don't even care. I will do it.
So I went to go look for this info to make a judgment for myself, and all I could find was a Google Doc that isn't even up anymore, and one video that is only seconds long. So for convenience sake, please do make that video. I hate to be the chaotic good with this scenario, I prefer being a duelist over everything, but I'll hear you out if it means you'll prove your point.
Seeing that Carson had the f***ing indecency to apologize to her and make fan art for her despite her racist and predatory behavior is something I will never forgive Carson for. But you know what's crazy about literally everything I just said in this update video? I'm only scratching the surface.
How do you both scratch the surface and the bottom of the barrel at the same time?
I could also mention that Carson still dead names people.
One, that's clearly a username, so not dead naming. I mean, who would name themselves Yellow Pencil in real life? Secondly, maybe it was just an accident?
I could mention that Carson began talking trash about me for rightfully calling him out for his terrible actions.
He has every right to be mad at you! You called him a pedophile and a zoophile!
And I could talk about why Carson thought it would be a great idea to call someone a murderer for rightfully deplatforming him for the terrible things he's done.
How dare he be mean to this Shadow Mickey character thing? Okay, what the fuck is this supposed to be? What the fuck is this? Is it a mouse or a hedgehog? Fucking pick one and stick with it!
Or I could talk about why he decided it would be a good idea to ship himself with fictional animal cartoon characters.
Yeah, being mean to real-life people is one thing, but making ship art? Well, that's just too far. I'm not saying that his actions are really that bad or anything, but Jesus Christ, your priorities suck.
One of my mutuals decided to confront Carson in a live chat of a small live stream he was in.
Isn't starting arguments in live chat kind of poor etiquette? Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's a big no-no when it comes to watching streams.
Keep in mind, this was the same live stream where he started to talk trash about me.
You called him a pedophile, of course he's not happy with you.
But in the live chat, he would also end up spilling the beans on why he specifically shipped himself with Zadie from Work It Out Wombat.
Because he likes her?
Carson would end up saying this. This is why he decided to ship himself with a fictional animal cartoon character that is also a minor.
Okay. And so what? He has a shot-up persona of himself, big whoop. If anything, this shipping seems less sexual and more so age-regressing. He puts himself with a supposed comfort character and regresses to a time where he was happy. So this seems less like a sexual thing and more like a comfort thing. Not that making it a sexual thing would be bad. I don't use her that often as to not fuck with canon, but I do have the same thing for myself in my barrag. Her name's Carmilla. I can't link it or show it here right now because the only picture that has her is, well...
Oh no. Oh dear. That's porn.
Let's just say I had a very nice time with the Suka and Pippa. But yeah, Carson is seemingly doing this as an age-regress comfort thing as opposed to a sexual thing. Which makes the existence of this video even more fucked up. No wonder he's pissed at you. You trampled on his safe space. I don't blame him one bit for talking shit about you.
I will say this. If there is anything that Carson will do with his platform, it is that he's willing to use his platform to brainwash people into thinking the terrible things he does are okay.
Oh boy, I love this argument. The pipeline argument that claims that people have no agency over their thoughts and opinions and only blindly follow those who they like. It's a logical fallacy that the left likes to use to demonize those they don't like and claims that people only get more extremist over time.
Not only that though, Carson will also use his platform to harass and cyberstalk my mutuals like Jaxie's Musical Clubhouse into doing things he wants them to do.
Are you gonna explain what those are, or what? Like, you only showed us screenshots of him reviewing toys and a CD. Did you use the wrong screenshot, or am I missing something?
This kind of behavior is not okay, and it needs to be stopped at all costs. Some of Carson's fans aren't safe from this video either, absolutely not. Some of his fans decided to make the poor decision of taking Carson's terrible influence to shape themselves into degenerates as well.
Or maybe they just realize he isn't the pedophilic zoophile you claim he is.
And some of them need to be called out for their terrible online behavior. Here, I'll be calling out two fans of Carson and his content. Those two fans being Tabby Molesworth and Libra.
Oh hey, we have a Libra too! Granted, she's the green one as opposed to the purple one. Interesting coincidence. That won't get confusing at all.
AKA Justin Kango Lover. These two are definitely the most disgusting Pickwick Carson fans I've seen. And I personally think they both need to be called out for their disgusting actions. Let's start with Libra. Libra is a random woman on the internet that has been allowing Carson to call her his... that word.
What? Mommy? Is that really that disturbing of a word? Like, jeez, did you get raised by a pack of Jehovah's Witnesses as a baby or something?
Did he say the M word? Munchkin? No, the other one.
I miss when Cartoon Network was good. Any excuse to put the mad cartoon in a video is a good one.
When I saw this, I decided to do some further research into who this person is, and found out this woman claimed that she was 53 years old!
Would this be an age regression thing like Carson's persona, or her actual age? Because judging by her bio, it looks like that's what's being described. But even if what you say is true and it is sexual, wouldn't that mean that Libra-san would be in the wrong for allowing a 17-year-old to do this? Assuming that this is when it happened, of course.
At that point, I called her out for basically being a creep. She would then reply to my comment and kept denying that she was dating Carson. And when I asked her why she would let Carson call her that word, she completely backed out of the interrogation.
No, she told you that she doesn't date minors. Which she doesn't.
Oh, I doubt Libra is actually 53 years old, considering what her voice sounds like in her videos.
We made it! We made it!
Then why are you claiming that she's a pedophile?
But you wanna know who's just as disgusting as her? Tabby Molesworth. Tabby is also one of the most sickening individuals I've come across on the internet. But you're probably wondering, who even is she? Tabby is a notorious YouTuber that is known for actively roleplaying in YouTube community posts and in comment sections under other community posts. It's bad enough that she's a gacha YouTuber, but I've seen her do worse.
So she just roleplays? That's it? Not even NSFW, just roleplay.
I've caught her enabling pedophilic relationships in her roleplays, making them extremely inappropriate.
How? Is it the age of the characters or the age of the people? Because the age of the characters don't matter.
And I've caught her saying that she's been Carson's boyfriend for 7 years, which I find very creepy.
How dare Carson have a love life?
But those don't even come close to the worst things she's done. Oh no, this disgusting individual had the audacity to send me a death threat.
Not actually a threat, literally just her character. Anyways, gamers, have a good night. Oh, and if you're wondering about Camilla's name, just look at the top comment of this video.